Welcome to Living the Empowered Life podcast, where we discuss all things empowering, encouraging and inspiring. My name is Yvonne Ellis. I'm an empowerment speaker, author, coach, trainer and founder of Yumi Empowerment, a company that facilitates the empowerment of people. I help people to make positive life change, live in their purpose and develop into their best version of self. I share stories, interviews, spiritual encouragement and actionable tips to empower, encourage and inspire you to live the life you want. So if you want to live the empowered life, join me each week on my podcast so we can take the journey together. Hello Empowered Lifers, welcome to Living the Empowered Life podcast. My name is Yvonne, I'm the podcast host and today is episode 65 of the podcast. If you are new here, welcome. I hope you find this episode to be something of value to you, also to my continued listeners and supporters. Thank you guys for listening again. Love you. Thank you for all your encouragement in tuning into these episodes. And whoever you are listening in, if you want to share these episodes with your friends, family, colleagues, neighbours, acquaintances, I would really appreciate it. We need to get the word out about living the empowered life. And also as well, don't forget to hit the follow or subscribe button on whatever platform you're listening to this podcast on, whether that is Apple Podcasts, Spotify or Stitcher. Hit the follow or plus button so that you don't miss the bi-weekly episodes. So guys, wow, when I tell you I am cream crackered, I am cream crackered. I think the slang for it is cream crackered, knackered. But yes, I am knackered or cream crackered. Which one do you want to pick? Yeah, that is how I actually feel today. I have been sharing on Instagram, especially on Friday, that I did it. I did the hard thing, pushed through and did my master's degree assignment. And I shared in that little video that I uploaded actually and posted on Instagram. If you're not following me over there, it's YEME_empowerment. I shared that I didn't really like doing it and that it was really, really hard and how I pushed through in doing it. I am really, really proud of myself. It was quite grueling because as I shared, I did 3 all-nighters last week. Also, as all the research and writing and everything I did, it came to about 19 pages, 2 pages references. I spent well over 80 hours on that one assignment. And that's generally how much time in hours I usually spend on an assignment because there is so much that you've got to do. There's a lot of research, there's a lot of different things you have to take into consideration. So that is what happened with my assignment. And literally yesterday on Saturday the 20th, I was just so tired. I haven't really done much. This morning on Sunday, I've gone out for my bike ride really early. So I'm glad I've done something with my day, but today really for me is about relaxing because tomorrow it's back at it with work. So guys, today is episode 65 of the podcast and today is about the power of a good conversation. And I'm going to share my thoughts around what makes a good conversation, the benefits of it, all that good stuff. But before I do that, I want to share with you a couple of quotes that I thought was quite fitting for this episode. So the first quote I want to share with you is by somebody called Truman Capote, and it says, "A conversation is a dialogue, not a monologue. That's why there are so few good conversations, due to scarcity. 2 intelligent talkers seldom meet." I quite like that quote actually, because I think what he's implying is that sometimes people only talk to talk or not talk to listen. So I really do like that quote. Another quote, which is by picturequotes.com, says, "Every good conversation starts with good listening." Yeah, I agree with that actually. And the last quote by mindsjournal.com says, "The ability to hold a good conversation has almost become a lost art form." Wow, so 3 really, really good quotes that speak to the power of conversation. So that is what I want to talk to you about in this episode, the power of good conversation and what it entails. Because recently I spoke with a friend of mine and it was just a really powerful conversation, and inspired by that, that is why I have done this episode today. So my question to you guys is, when was the last time you had a good conversation? How to frame that? Probably think about the quotes I've just shared. And no, a good conversation is not gossip. I'm talking about conversation with someone that uplifts, empowers, encourages, or has a positive effect on you? I believe those conversations are few and far between. And as a matter of fact, recently, as I mentioned, I had a conversation with a friend of mine that I've known for many, many years. And it made me realize that the last time I had a really good conversation was some time ago. So this friend of mine is somebody that I've known for a long time. She's always been an encourager. She's somebody who supports me in my work and my non-profit Daughter Arise. She supports me in doing the support group sessions as and when needed. And she's someone I believe understands the power and value of uplifting others. Now, me and my friend, we don't speak that often in this capacity of just having conversations about life and everything else, because we're both quite, busy people and stuff. But the other day, I should say about 2 weeks ago, we spent like an hour or so just talking. We were talking on, I think it was Zoom, face to face, but obviously it's virtual nevertheless, but it was face to face. And, it was such an enriching experience for me. And, as I said, we don't do it often, but it is something that I came away from the conversation just feeling positive, encouraged, motivated to keep going, feeling valued. It was really, really a conversation that really did make me feel great when I came away from it. Now I want to share with you some benefits of good conversation, because maybe you are somebody that keeps a lot of things bottled in. I'm somebody that usually does that a lot, actually. I have, very few good friends and few people that I would trust to tell certain things to do with me. And I have a small group, maybe 2 or 3, or even maximum 4 friends who, we all are busy. We don't see each other a lot. We don't speak a lot throughout the year. But when we do, it's always a very empowering, encouraging experience. And in between that, I don't really speak to anybody about things really to do with the things that are going on with me. So having those conversations can be quite difficult at times. That's why I appreciated when I had this conversation with my friend that was over an hour. I appreciate that time because, it's not something I have often. But I wonder if you have had any good conversations lately, or maybe like me, for those reasons, you don't really have good conversations with people. Maybe you don't trust people and things like that. But I want to share with you some of the benefits of having a good conversation from my personal experience. So the first thing I've put here is that good conversation helps to let out stress. So basically talking to someone, that is something I found from my conversation with my friend. There were some things that were bothering me, troubling me about, certain things I was doing within my purpose and calling, and I was able to talk to her about it, and just letting that out and just talking about it and having someone listen really helped me, because it kind of validated some of the things that I was feeling inside. But also as well, kind of from her listening to me, she was able to give me kind of, little kind of advice really on some of the things that could possibly help with that. And it gave me, room to think. So the next thing I've put is that, it helped me to see things from another perspective. One of the things when you keep things to yourself, I feel, is that you're not going to be able to see maybe things with a broad overview because you're too close to the situation. And just to my last point that I made, to my point before that I made, in talking to my friend about certain situations and stuff, she helped me to see things from a different perspective, things that I possibly couldn't have seen because I am in the situation and too close to it. I think one of the other things that came to mind from having a good conversation, it's a saying that I've heard so many times, and the saying is, a problem shared is a problem halved. Have you heard of that saying before? I'm sure you have. But basically, that's what I got from this conversation that I had with my friend. And on a website called awkwardsilence.com, I came across 20 reasons why conversation is so valuable but yet so undervalued. So some of the benefits they have listed is conversation creates connection. The more you talk to somebody, the more you bond. The joy of connecting and making new friends is one of life's great rewards. And by connecting with others, you become bigger than yourself. I love that. Another benefit they say is that conversation shares information. Conversation is a handy tool for finding out information. For example, discussing someone's travel experiences, you can find tips of your own. Also, as well, they give an example for couples. It's important to share information and not to assume that the other can read the other's mind, and it saves conflict in the long run. So that is a good benefit actually for conversation. Another one here says conversation sparks ideas and creates synergy. Conversations are the mixing bowls that great ideas emerge from. By discussing an idea with someone, it can help to flesh it out. I'm not really of the school of thinking like that actually, because unless somebody has acted on ideas before and knows the kind of process of acting on ideas, I would say yes, okay, a conversation with somebody like that is beneficial, but not, I would say, with somebody that has no idea about the benefit of ideas, has never acted on an idea, especially somebody that may be living in their comfort zone. But, as I said, in certain circumstances, that is definitely true. Conversations are fun. Conversations make you laugh, can be fascinating and cheer you up. Yes, that's definitely true. And conversations challenge you. Conversations expose you to a variety of opinions. Sometimes the need to defend those opinions will help you to fully realise those opinions or discard them. So that is actually quite a good, those ones that I've shared with you out of the 20 are actually quite good reasons for having conversation. So I want to share with you some parameters of a good conversation, some inspiring things that on reflection of having that conversation with my friend that I wrote down. So I would say the parameters of a good conversation is that it's with someone that you trust and not with somebody who gossips. Now, there is a very, very good saying in Proverbs. I can't remember exactly where it is, but it basically says, those that chat to you will talk about you. It says that basically those that can't hold a confidence, will also take, your business and take it elsewhere. And I have seen and known that to be true in so many different situations in life. It is so true. So basically one of the parameters of having a good conversation is that it is with somebody that you trust, not somebody who's known to be a gossip. If you have witnessed this person gossiping about others, chatting other people's business, there is a good chance if you take your things to them, they will do it to you too, because they've shown themselves not to be somebody who can be trusted with other people's information. So that's the first thing, somebody you trust. The next thing I would say is not with somebody who is negative. Negative people are really, I do actually feel sad for negative people, because I remember one time years, many moons ago, I used to be somebody that possibly could come across as negative just because of my, problems and different things I was going through. I was lacking in hope and stuff. So lacking in hope meant that I was negative at times. So I'm not going to be completely down on negative people, because there's many reasons why people are negative. But if you are looking for good conversation, one of those things in a conversation is hope and motivation and all those things. Then with a negative person, you're not really going to get that, because that negative person is going through their own things. They have a fixed mindset at the moment where the outlook of things are, the outlook of things is not really great. So I wouldn't suggest negative people as somebody to talk to about things. Obviously, if they change and things like that, maybe that could be an option. The next thing that I would say is that a good conversation should be with somebody who is wise. One of the benefits is that you can access their wisdom. When you talk to somebody who is wise, they're usually very level-headed. They're able to see things from different angles. They don't just fire off at the mouth. They will wait, ponder, reflect for a few minutes or seconds or whatever, and then kind of give you their perspective. Also as well, somebody who is encouraging, somebody who is an encourager, somebody that, even when you're finding things difficult, they're encouraging you to keep on. Some of the other things that I feel make a good conversation is that you're both listeners. So when somebody is talking, you're listening. You're not listening to answer back, you're listening to understand. Also as well, insightful. Always good to have conversation with people who are insightful. I suppose that's the same kind of thing like with wisdom, being wise. And it's about reciprocity as well. It's about both of you having give and take within the conversation. you both listen, when one's speaking, the other listens. When the other one's listening, the other's speaking. Both, of you are in this communication, and it is give and take. Effective listening is really, really important as well. Somebody who is really listening to you will pick up back on the points or key things from the things that you say, and that shows that they have been effectively listening to you. So if you are looking to live an empowered life, conversation, good conversation should be part of it, meaning that talking with somebody and being listened to by somebody you trust, who you recognize in your life as somebody that you can talk to about your goals, dreams, hopes and fears, will benefit you in ways that you probably didn't imagine. So the Bible scripture I want to share with you this week comes from Ephesians 4:29, and it's from the English Standard Version. It says, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." So really that's it in a nutshell. Good conversation is about encouragement, about building up, about what is fitting to the occasion. And there's grace that comes with that. As it says, let no corrupting talk come out of your mouth. That's gossip. That's negativity. That is talk that is a bad influence. That is what we should think about when we are having conversations with people, or when people are coming to have a conversation with us, to think about these things. How are we going to be in that conversation? Is that person going to come away from the conversation feeling uplifted, motivated, encouraged, whatever it is, something positive? Are they going to come away with that from talking to us? If you've not had a good conversation in a long time, I would encourage you to think about somebody in your life who you can have that conversation with. If you really feel there's things that you want to talk to somebody about. And before I finish, of course, the ultimate conversation that will change your life is with Jesus Christ. Invite him into your heart and life and your life plans, and he will lead you into all truth and impart in you the answers to the questions that you probably have had for a very long time. I would encourage you to have a conversation with Jesus. Ultimately, a relationship with Jesus Christ is a personal relationship like you would have with that good friend, where you talk and he listens. And then when he talks, you listen. And I'm still getting, I'm still learning to do that. It's very, very one of those things that I'm still struggling with. But relationship, basically, and conversation is something that goes hand in hand. So I want to leave on that note, really. If there are things in your life that you want help with, to maybe work out and figure out your goals, your dreams and different things like that, please do visit the website Yumi Empowerment. I will leave a link to it in the show notes below, description box below. If you want that kind of conversation, constructive conversation, to help you figure out your goals and dreams, to help you to get unstuck, I am a certified empowerment coach, and I support my clients in helping them to go after their goals and dreams, and to look at any kind of blockages to going after those goals and dreams. So that is it for this episode. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.